John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hey there, this is John Ulzheimer coming to you from 75 South at 8:30 in the morning. Oh, Atlanta traffic is just god-awful. This is a really good question I got from a consumer. This consumer has clearly been paying attention because they're using industry terms that you don't normally see from the fake experts standing in front of their Lamborghinis screaming about how they can help you fix your credit. The question specifically is, hey John, what's the difference between deletion, suppression, and blocking? I love it. So these are credit industry terms. I love it because the nomenclature indicates to me that someone is paying attention or has at least done some research before they've asked the question. So specifically what they're referring to is the removal of information from credit reports, which of course you have the right to do. You can challenge information that you feel is incorrect, like if you have an account that's not yours, or if you have balances that you believe are wrong, or if you have inquiries that are the result of fraud, then certainly those are the types of things that you can attempt to get removed from your credit reports. So there are a variety of ways that the credit reporting agencies can effectuate the removal of information from a credit report. One of those ways is deletion. So deletion is, if you kind of looked up the word delete in a dictionary, the definition that you get is really what it means in the context of credit reporting. So I'll use a collection account as an example. So if you have a collection account on your credit report and it's wrong, it's not yours, and you dispute it with a credit bureau and the credit bureau acknowledges that it is incorrect, then they will delete it, which means that they essentially, it's gone out of their system, okay? This is an important distinction that I need to make here. I need to set this up for later on in the video. When they delete the collection, it leaves a hole behind, okay? It's almost like taking an egg out of an egg carton. It leaves a hole where that egg was. So keep that in mind as we go through this. Deletion leaves a hole. All right, suppression and blocking. So suppression and blocking are synonyms. They mean the same thing in terms of credit reporting. So we're gonna refer to them, I'm just gonna refer to that as suppression because there's no point explaining both of them individually because they mean the same thing. So let's just say that blocking means suppression, and I'm gonna explain what suppression is. If you are the victim of fraud, and legitimate fraud, you're not just lying and saying you've been the victim of fraud to get something removed, which is terrible. The Fair Credit Reporting Act gives you the right, you have different rights if you've been the victim of fraud and you have information on your credit reports that is there because of the fraud. Once you kind of jump through some hoops, you have to fill out certain forms, you've got to get a police report, fill out an identity theft affidavit. Once you do those things and the credit reporting agencies acknowledge that you're really the legitimate victim of fraud, they're actually required to remove the fraudulent information pretty quickly, within like 5 business, it's either 4 or 5 business days. I don't have the act memorized in that respect, but it's pretty quick. And they have to essentially prevent it from ever being re-reported. Well, remember earlier when we talked about deleting leaves a hole? Well, the hole can be refilled by the same collection agency if they re-report the account. So that's the downside to deletion, is that it doesn't block or suppress the information from ever showing up again. If the credit bureaus choose to suppress an item instead of delete an item, it does not leave a hole. I'm gonna put you're gonna be able to see how old I am when I give you this example. You remember the old correction tape? Like if you used an old typewriter and if you had to make a correction, you'd put this correction tape in it and you'd click the letter or number again and it would snap it and it would delete or essentially white out the error on the piece of paper. Or remember the old whiteout, that liquid stuff that you would shake and then you would white out whatever it was on the piece of paper? So that's what suppression is. It's essentially whiteout for your credit report. It doesn't remove the item, it just covers it up. But I promise you it's still there. The difference is if it's still there, there's no hole. So that's an important distinction. Once something is suppressed/blocked, it cannot be re-reported accidentally by the creditor again. So that's a big deal. It prevents the accidental re-reporting of an item that was previously removed, where deletion does not prevent an item from being re-reported once it has been removed. So that is the important distinction. Now look, In practical terms, they kind of mean the same thing, because if you were to pull a copy of your credit report, the thing is gone. You don't see it. When your credit score is calculated, the thing is gone. It's not considered in your credit score. But in the credit bureau's systems, the difference is that deletion means that nothing is there any longer, versus suppression, it means that it is there. It's just blocked from being re-reported again by the creditor. So that's it from here. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comment section below. Have a great rest of your day.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.